Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 31 of the regular season, where the Astros win 8-2 over the Cleveland Guardians, and in so doing, win a series against the number one team in the American League. And now, tied for the number one team. They were the number one team entering it, but the Astros went out, stole the series against them. Now they've got to share that title with the Baltimore Orioles. This is wildly impressive. And the difference a week can make is really just infinite. Because a week ago, before they entered the Rockies series down in Mexico, things were looking pretty darn bleak. And you can say, Weston, things haven't really changed that much. And I think overall, the standings haven't changed. The way the team is playing and what they have put on the field in this past week has changed. This is the team we watched. This is the team we've loved. This is the team that won all of those things. The 4 pennants, the 7 straight division titles in regular seasons. So 6 straight division titles, I suppose. My mistake on that one. In 160-game seasons. Made it to 7 consecutive ALCS appearances. This is the team that was so easy to cheer for and so fun to watch. And it's only a 5-game run. And they lost one of them, right? 4-1 is such a minuscule piece of a season. It's like 0.5% of a season, or half of. That's not how math works, Weston. It's less than 5%, like 3% of a season. I understand that. That is not lost on me. But following the way their season started, a 4-1 run. I mean, that's almost half their wins. Like, they are now 11-20, which again is still not great. That's still very, very bad. But 4-1 over the last 5? And you could put the asterisk against the Rocky series, and I did. I tore that series to shreds in terms of, hey, there's a lot to say, because yeah, they did a lot of good, but it is the Rockies. I was very open about that. I took a lot of shots at the Rockies on the way out of that series. But I said, if you can go out and do that against the Cleveland Guardians, there is no yeah but. That is a top-tier team, an elite team in the American League, and the Astros went out and in 3 games took care of business. And overall, the Astros looked like the better team. They really, really did. The one game the Astros lost, you can kind of just chalk up to say, oh, well, yeah, but it was a mistake by their backup catcher making such a boneheaded base running decision. How could you even really throw that on the team as a whole? The Astros, who have spent all season being down in the dumpster, maybe even lower than the dumpster, what's below the dumpster, are the ones that you get to say, well, yeah, but they outplayed them. Like the Astros, the entire series, outplayed them. They win game 1, 10-9, very exciting game. They win tonight, blow them out. And it was a classic Astros blowout. This is the way they did it in, again, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. The occasional day in 23. Keep it close with pitching, and then pick like 2 innings where your entire team, top to bottom, just strings together hits. The Astros were down 2-0 in this game. A pair of run score for the Guardians in the 3rd inning. Those were the only blips on Argueda's night. And it wasn't this beautiful masterpiece for Argueda, but it was a solid night. That's a fine game out of your 5th, 6th starter. I've talked at length in previous years about, like, hey, out of the guy at the very bottom, if you can just get 5 or 6 innings deep and it's still a close game, that's all you need. That's all the Astros needed. Argueda was able to give them that. I give him a ton of credit for it. 5 2/3, 2 runs, struck out 6. It was not too bad of a game for him. It was great. He kept them in it. The Astros get a pass ball run in the bottom of the 3rd. Then you get to the 6th inning, and they actually start to string together some hits, and that was when the action started for him, because you get Jeremy Pena aboard, and John Singleton, I said he randomly picks a Tuesday to have a career night. Why not on either weekday starting with a T to cap end one? Another home run tonight. He ended up having 3 RBIs in this game, but hits a go-ahead 2-run shot in the 6th inning to put the Astros up 3-2. Then they get to the 7th inning, and again, stringing it along. Altuve with an RBI base hit to make it 4-2. You had Jeremy Pena getting hit by a pitch when the bases were loaded, which, Hit by pitch is as good as a walk, which is as good as a hit. Yainer Diaz would have a 2 RBI base hit, and then John Singleton with a sac fly for another RBI to make it 8-2. The bullpen comes in, and the Astros actually got to rest their big arms in the bullpen. It was Taylor Scott for the last few innings of this game, or Taylor Scott and Seth Martinez. Scott looked pretty solid. Went an inning and a third, picked up a strikeout. Seth Martinez was classic Seth Martinez. Just grinding out the innings, didn't give up any runs. And the Astros end up winning the game 8-2. Had a very nice performance out of Jose Altuve, had 3 hits on the night. Pena had a pair of base hits, including a pair of runs scored and an RBI. Yainer Diaz with a couple of RBI. John Singleton was probably one of the stars. It's either him or Altuve. You'll probably go with Singleton because of the 3 RBI. That's when they're at their best, man. I've said it 1,000 different times, 1,000 different ways. When everyone can click for 2 innings in the offensive side. And it's just single, walk, single, base hit. Just stringing it together in an inning. The Astros are at their best when you look up and down the lineup and you see just 1 run in almost every single hitter box. It's a team effort. And when the Astros play as a team, as a unit, they look their best. They play their best. They are their best. It's 5 games. 5 games in late April, very early May. I understand how insignificant 5 games, one direction or the other, is going to be come the end of the year. In late September. Most teams, there are the exceptions, but a lot of teams are going to make or miss the playoffs by more than 5 games. They're going to make it or miss it by more than 4 wins. They're definitely going to make it or miss it by more than 1 loss. But right now, the Astros, and this is the other big thing, the Astros had an opportunity to go down to Mexico, have a 2-game series against their quote-unquote equal in the Rockies, or they go down to Mexico with a couple of days off on either side of it and remind everyone that no, that is not their equal. That is a team that they can blow the doors off of. And then after doing that, if you were able to do it, we all thought a week ago, you come back to a series against the Guardians, and if you can beat them in the series, or even if you take 1 out of the 3, but the other 2 are really, really close, that could give you some momentum. That could start to give you some more credit again. And you win the series pretty damn convincingly. And it sounds ridiculous to say about a team that is 9 games under 500. That is 11-20. But all of a sudden, the Astros that were dead on the side of the road have started to crawl their way out of a ditch. And now all of a sudden, they play the Seattle Mariners in a 3-game series over the weekend. And how is this for a wild thing to think about? If the Astros could win the 3 games against Seattle, there is a reality, there is a very, very possible reality that by Sunday night, the Astros are 3 games back of the division lead. Because the Mariners and the Rangers haven't really leapt away with the lead, despite the fact that the Astros and Angels have been down in the dumps. They haven't done it. They're both a little bit above 500. The Mariners lead the division, and they are, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say they're 17-15. I will double check it. 17-14. The Astros could be 3 games back by Sunday night, guys. That's a thing that's possible. And the way they played tonight against the toast of the league, the way they played this series, the way they've played the past 4 games, how do you not feel pretty good going into the series? How do you not think, all right, the Astros are catching fire? And now they get to go up against a team who throughout this run they have pretty convincingly and consistently pummeled up on. And they're all 3 games in Minute Maid. Who knows, man? Who knows? But I know for a fact that myself, and I think you're starting to feel it. Starting to feel it in the community again. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. They still have a long way to go to get there, but a week ago, that light was a pinhole. And now, it's gotten just a little bit bigger. And you can start to see the outline of how they can get out of it. I said I just couldn't, and they rewarded the optimism. They start the 3-game series tomorrow night at 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. The Astros are going to send Ronel Blanco to the mound, and the Mariners are going to send George Kirby to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that's all I have to say. So as for right now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.